Let's be real. Life has a twisted sense of humor. It never throws the curveball when you're ready. No, it waits until you're broke, stressed, and barely hanging on. Flat tire on payday? Check medical bill the week after Christmas? Of course, laid off the moment you finally start catching up on bills. Classic. And here's the thing. Without an emergency fund, those curveballs don't just hurt. They wreck your finances. They push you into debt, max out your credit cards, and trap you in a cycle that feels impossible to escape. But here's the good news. There's a way out. Today, I'm going to show you how to build an emergency fund, step by step, even if you feel broke right now. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see why the emergency fund is not just some financial advice, it's your financial life jacket. Stick around, because I'll also show you a psychological trick that makes saving painless, even if you've failed 100 times before. Welcome back to the Financial Freedom Insider, where we cut through the money myths, expose the traps, and show you how wealth really works. In our last video, we talked about budgeting as a freedom system, not a punishment. But today, we're zeroing in on the financial cushion that keeps you safe when life sucker punches you, the emergency fund. The real problem. Here's the brutal truth. Most people don't have one. According to a 2025 Bankrate survey, only about 41% of Americans say they'd tap into savings for a surprise $1,000 emergency, meaning the rest would likely turn to credit or loans. In the UK, 1 in 10 adults have no cash savings at all, and another 21% have less than £1,000 to draw on, according to FCA research. That means a single broken boiler, hospital bill, or car repair could sink nearly half the population into debt overnight. Why is this so dangerous? Because emergencies don't wait for payday. They don't care if you're already in debt. They just show up. And when you don't have cash ready, you borrow. Credit cards, payday loans, overdrafts, all with insane interest rates that turn a $500 problem into a $2,000 nightmare. I had a friend who once said, "I'll just use my credit card if something comes up." Then something did. An $800 medical bill. By the time he finished paying it off, with interest, it cost him nearly $1,400. The emergency wasn't the problem. The lack of a cushion was. Bottom line, without an emergency fund, every curveball costs double. The brutal truth about curveballs. Here's what you need to know. Emergencies are not rare. They're guaranteed. If you don't prepare, you pay twice. Once for the emergency itself, and again in interest when you borrow. Without an emergency fund, your financial plan is built on sand. Think of it like this. Investments build wealth, but your emergency fund protects it. It's your shield against life's chaos. What an emergency fund really is. So what exactly is an emergency fund? Here's the definition most people miss. An emergency fund isn't savings for fun, it's savings for survival. It's not for vacations, not for a new phone, not for Black Friday deals. It's cash, set aside, ready to save your butt when life blindsides you. Car repairs, medical bills, job loss or reduced income, emergency travel. If it's not urgent, unexpected, and necessary, it's not an emergency. Period. Think of it like airbags in a car. You hope you never need them, but when you do, you're glad they're there. Financial pros like Dave Ramsey say that starting with $1,000 gets you off the edge. A 2025 Fidelity study shows households with $1,000 saved avoid 80% of financial stress. It's not sexy, but it's your shield. Park it in a high-yield savings account. 2025 rates hit 4.5% in the UK and 4.2% in the US, per Bankrate. My cousin started with $50 a month. 6 months later, her car died. $800 repair, no sweat. No loan, no stress. That's the power of a starter fund. Why life loves screwing you when you are broke. Life hits hardest when you're vulnerable. Health emergencies are one of the most common curveballs life throws, and they're rarely cheap. It's not unusual for a sudden illness or accident to set you back hundreds of pounds, or a surprise hospital bill can easily climb into thousands of dollars. And job loss? UK unemployment rose to 4.7% in 2025, according to the Office of National Statistics. US saw an increase to 4.3%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The 3 levels of emergency funds. Here's where most people get overwhelmed. 6 months of expenses? I can't even save $6. Relax. You don't need it all at once. You build it in levels. Level 1, Starter Fund. $1,000, or £800. Enough for a flat tire or small repair. Level 2, Safety Net. 1 to 3 months of living expenses. Protects you against bigger hits like job loss. Level 3, Freedom Fund. 3 to 6 months. Some go 12. If you lost income today, you'd have months of breathing room. Example, if your monthly expenses are $2,000, then your target is $6,000 to $12,000 saved. The cost of getting this wrong. Here's why this is life or death for your finances. Without an emergency fund, small problems snowball into massive ones. That $200 car repair turns into maxing a $2,000 credit card. That one late paycheck becomes 3 months of overdue rent. And no, credit cards don't count as a plan. A 2025 Forbes Advisor report says average U.S. card interest rates are 25.32%. In the UK, Moneyfacts puts them at 35.7%. Swipe when things go wrong, and you're renting your emergency at over 20% interest. So, your Plan B credit card? Yeah, that's Plan B for broke. With an emergency fund, those same problems are just annoyances, inconveniences. You fix them and move on. The emergency doesn't change, but your outcome does. How to build an emergency fund, even if you feel broke. So, how do you build this if you already feel strapped? Step 1. Pick your target. Start small. Aim for $500 or £500. Forget the 6 months myth for now. Step 2. Open a separate account. Don't mix it with checking. Ideally, a high-yield savings account with no debit card. Accessible, but not too easy to spend. Step 3. Automate. Set up a transfer the day after payday. Even $20 matters. Automation makes it invisible and painless. Step 4. Plug leaks. Audit subscriptions. Cut one expense. Redirect it straight into your fund. Step 5. Use windfalls, tax refunds, bonuses, cash gifts. Most people splurge. You don't. Throw it into your fund and watch it grow. I had a client who swore he couldn't save, but we tracked his spending, $120 a month on food delivery. He cut that in half, redirected $60 into savings, and in 9 months had over $500. Same emergencies, but this time, no debt. Psychology trick. Make savings stick. Here's the trick I promised earlier. Name your account. Don't just call it savings, call it Lifesaver Fund or Crisis Crusher. It sounds silly, but studies show people are far more likely to stick with savings when accounts are labeled emotionally. It turns saving from a chore into a mission. What if it's still not enough? Now, what if you've done all this and it still feels impossible? Step up your income engine. Freelancing, overtime, selling unused stuff, or starting a side hustle. Remember, your emergency fund doesn't need millions. It just needs to protect you when life swings. And here's the real payoff. Once you've got 3 to 6 months saved, you unlock freedom. You can quit toxic jobs, negotiate harder, take risks without fear. That's the magic of an emergency fund. Action steps. Here's your 30-day challenge. Open a separate account labeled Emergency Fund. Automate at least $20 or £20 per paycheck. Cut one subscription and redirect the cash. At the end of 30 days, check your balance. It won't be thousands, but it will be something. And that something is your financial safety net taking root. Recap. Emergencies will happen. It's not if, it's when. Without a fund, small problems spiral into debt. Build in levels, $1,000, 3 months, 6 months. Automate it, protect it, and only touch it for real emergencies. Your emergency fund buys peace of mind and freedom. Here's the deal. An emergency fund isn't about money. It's about peace of mind. It's about knowing that when life throws its next curveball, and it will, you won't get knocked out. This week, open your Lifesaver Fund account and put something in it. Even $10 or £10. Because once you start, you're no longer unprotected. Your safety net protects you from the unexpected. But what about the chains you're already dragging every single month? In our next video, we'll reveal how to break them before they break you. So smash subscribe, hit that bell, And tell us in the comments, what's the craziest financial emergency you've ever faced? We'll reply to the top comments and feature some in the next episode.